Welcome back to Viewer's Voice. For this episode, I'm going to speak about how I think that people need to be more upfront about a bunch of different things. Now, what I mean is just like, you can be upfront about a lot of different things. Your feelings, what you think, how you want to go about something, not taking shortcuts. Whatever the case may be, I believe that a lot of people need to start taking a more upfront approach than, going for shortcuts or trying to sugarcoat something, right? And just trying to dumb it down as much as possible, or just try to ease away some of the pain that might go with the upfront approach. But that tends to create more problems because you gotta think about it like this: if you trying to get somewhere, right, and if you just take the straightforward path, you be there in like 4 minutes. Now, if you try to start taking like detours and different routes to get where you want to be, you're gonna come across a lot more things that you did not need to come across. Whether that's good or bad, who knows? But most likely, it's not gonna be the best because you could have been there like 4 minutes. Now, by taking all these paths and trying to get around the issue itself, you take a whole lot longer, right? And let's say on this road to get home or whatever you want to get to within those 4 minutes, let's say there's some crazy person along the path and you don't want to run into them, right? Because you don't know what that can create, right? Or maybe even the person might not be crazy, but you just too much in your head that you think this person's crazy, and you very much want to avoid all the more conflict instead of just going straight forward and seeing what was there in front of you in the first place. So by you trying to take all these other different routes and other paths and directions to try to still get to where you want to be, you may come across several other more crazy people and things that you didn't want to come across in the first place, and you wouldn't have came across in the first place had you just been up front. And like I said, I think the problem is people think being upfront, think about like the truth. Like, the truth hurts. You don't want to just be straight direct with everything because sometimes direct isn't always the approach, right? Obviously, you could develop tactics that could get you where you want to be a lot sooner, a lot more easier without needing to put anyone in harm's way. But regardless of the matter is, people don't often look at it like that. They think that immediately, direct is just gonna create more issues. Let me just try to, take as long as possible before we fully get there. Or sometimes you don't want to get to that destination. You know that you get to the destination real quick in 4 minutes, but sometimes you don't want to be there immediately. So you want to take as long as possible. But that's the problem. People don't realize that the longer you hold something off, the more dangerous it's gonna become. So if you believe that holding this problem off, a week later, 2 weeks later, right, that could either lead you to forgetting about it and therefore never addressing the problem altogether, or the time you do finally truly address whatever it is, it's gonna be much harder to deal with because that same problem that you were right in front of weeks ago or days ago, or whatever, however long ago, when you come face to face with it again, it's not the same problem. It's amplified. It's completely different, and now you got a whole different situation at hand that you have to come up with a new solution to figure out about how to solve it, how to work with it, and figure out what you need to deal with. And like I said, this could be many different things, right? You got a career that you want to go into, but you kind of scared that you're gonna be met with a lot of problems that you can't come face to face with immediately. So you want to try to avert those problems and take as long as possible. That's not the best approach, because how will you ever develop those skills to fully deal with them problems if you never even work with one? If you try to avoid the very first and then the second and so more to come, that you just choose never to address the problems at hand, and you try to do the little stuff and get the little things out the way, just so that you could get a little further, because that's not going to cut it forever. And instead of just doing what you need to do, being upfront with yourself and what you got to get done, do that. Like I said, a lot of people are scared to be upfront. So at the very least, be upfront with yourself about what needs to get done. Or when it comes to being upfront with people, whether it's friends, relationships, telling somebody gotta get their things together, or that they just not cutting it, that's okay. Because sometimes criticism hurts, but constructive criticism is gonna get the job done 9 times out of 10. I'm not saying you gotta hate on anybody. I'm not saying that you gotta be just completely on somebody's bumper the whole time. But at the very minimum, do what's right and be real with them. Keep it 100 with that person. Don't do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Only give them 70% of what it is, and then keep that 30% to yourself, because you know that 30% is just gonna make it a lot worse. But the problem is, some people aren't used to it getting worse. Some people aren't used to being told the truth. Some people aren't just used to, having someone else hold a mirror up to them. You need to do that, because if that's the case, they will never understand the aptitude of what they're really doing. Right? Let's say you just have some random person that just likes going around punching people. For whatever reason, they like doing that. Right? And obviously, being punched is not something that, it's just nice, enjoyable. It's not soft, So, it hurts. The person he does it to, that hurts. Right? But if he doesn't know that, how is he ever going to know that it hurts? If he's never been punched before. Right? I'm not saying punch him back, but show him what he does and how that affects you, how that injures you, how that hurts you, and the people around him that he continues to punch, and he doesn't know the damage behind his own cause, right? His own actions. He doesn't know the damage to that. But if you tell him what it is, be 100 with him, he can see that. He can see what he's doing wrong, what he needs to fix. And, sometimes in that very moment, that may come at the cost of y'all talking or something, right? Because, like I said, some people don't really like other people being in their face. Regardless, it's necessary. And it can pose as necessary if you do it in the right way. Like I said, you don't gotta be so direct or at least so hurtful when you come across things, and you want to come correct. I understand that, and that's okay. You don't, like I said, you don't gotta be 100% just like on somebody's bumper. But understanding that needing to be direct is still a requirement, because not being direct is never gonna get you where you want to be, and never gonna get you what you want in the first place. Thinking that sugarcoating everything and making shortcuts is going to get you where you want to be. That's not the case. Work with it. Figure it out. Get it done. Get it over with. And keep pushing. For people that don't want to be direct about their feelings and want to, not talk about it, that's a problem. You may not see it as a problem. You may think it's something that's yours. Obviously, it's your feelings. You can do whatever you want with it. Problem is, if you have someone that cares about you and you choose not to share those feelings with them, that's a huge issue. Understand that when you're with somebody, if you're friends with somebody, some of what is yours will become theirs too, right? Because if you have a partner that cares about you, they're gonna be a little interested in your day. They're gonna be a little interested in how you feeling. If you ate, they want to make sure that you're good. The same way they worry about themselves, they gonna worry about you. So understand that you guys are each other's property, and think that you gotta take care of for the both of you. So thinking that your feelings aren't valid or valuable to him, right? Or that it's your feelings, you don't gotta share them with him, right? Technically, yes, right? But we're not talking about technicals right here. Technicalities, we're talking about what it really is. And I'm gonna let you know right now, if you and someone else are both together, what's yours is also theirs, and what's theirs is also yours, right? So choose not to share your feelings or share this and that. It's just gonna create more problems. In that case, don't be together. That's stupid. Right? Limiting what you and this person can share, all because you feel like you gotta have this. They can't have this. You can be direct with them. They can't be direct to you. Because there's people like that too. There's people that will be quick to get someone else's face, but when someone gets in their face and tells them what it really is, they will hate that. They will hate that more than almost anything in that very moment. Because like I said, some people don't like being told the truth or having a mirror held out to them. But understand that a lot of people need that. Majority of your life, you're going to need that. If you're going to get to the next step, you want to realize what you're doing wrong, let somebody else evaluate that and tell you. Because we can only see so much within ourselves and about ourselves that we are going to need other people to tell us that too. The same way you are looking forward right now and you can't see your back or whatever, someone else can. They'll tell you what's on, they'll tell you what it looks like, whatever. Because we have our blind spots the same way people have our blind spots. But that's why it's important for us to use our eyes and use what we have to benefit and help somebody else. And vice versa. For them to use what they got and help us too. That's how it's supposed to work. You can't be quick to shut somebody else down or think that trying to work around problems is going to get you where you want to be. It's not going to cut it. And understand that not everything that's bad is going to stick. Right? Most things that are bad, they're going to fall off at some point. Right? Think about you got a house. Right? You got a house and you got some parts that are rusting, that's decaying, right? That's breaking down. Those parts are going to fall off eventually. And meanwhile, the good parts, the good structures, they still stand in the end. But the problem is, if you let everything get bad, then everything's got to fall down. And you will be left with nothing else to build upon or to keep, because no structure is going to be good. Right? But also, that's gonna be all for the video. I'll see you guys next one. Thank you for listening.